where we've had quotas.
I'll damn sure tell you that there is a body count.
I was seen as somebody with false consciousness. I was seen as somebody who was a traitor.
So Dr. Phil has been tackling the tough issues, one of them being the DEI. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look at, really, it's this woman and her obsession with it. Let's just go ahead and look at it.
Our country is getting more and more diverse. If you look at the census in the next couple of decades, white people will no longer be the majority.
Okay. And there you go, right? I can't even get past the first 5 seconds because I have a problem with that statement. And I just finished talking about this, in many different places. Like, for this woman to stand, just to smile and say, and you look at the census, in 5 years, white people would not be in the majority. Tell me there's not a problem with that. What the heck? I don't know how okay, I don't want to promote any kind of violence, right? I don't. But I'm just saying, if you see a white person get up and get a kind of angry about that, I don't think they're wrong for that. I know me as a black person, if somebody said in 5 years you will not exist, I'm pretty sure that I would be going off like, what do you mean I'm not going to? Like, what do you have planned for me? That is just insane. That is absolutely insane. Wow. They're just too comfortable with talking like that.
So DEI is one of the most significant and important aspects of HR. So it's diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we need to be able to understand how to effectively work together.
So first of all, I just want you to know this lady annoys me. Okay. I have watched this video and I like to be very real with you guys. She does annoy me. Her smug look, everything it does, and everything that she's saying, it does annoy me. So we'll just get that out the way. We'll get my biases out the way. Also, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you have not subscribed yet to the channel, please, I hope today is the day that you do subscribe, because on this channel, we just talk about everything across the board in reality, just with a balanced take, or even just a realistic take, right? But I do welcome dissenting voices, dialogue, all of that. Like, I think that's great. We don't always have to agree, but I think we can agree with this one that saying that white people are going to be gone is not really a great thing to hear, right? I don't know. So yeah, guys, so please don't forget to hit the like button and please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Now, the thing about this woman is that she's already showing you that she's trying to save the world. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, for me means a huge sin. Yes, because humans could never really divide up equity with integrity. It can't happen, right? Because we are already flawed people, right? And it's bigger than, it's more than that. But right now, I just wanted to even bring up just that broad thought of it. It's not going to work. And I believe in God. So the only way you get equity is through God. Like that's, so only God can do that. Right? And when God placed man on this earth, he didn't say, well, this group has to be this way. This group, this group can get this group can't get that because they're the privileged group. This group we can't talk about at all, or else we're going to lose our bank accounts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not what God did. God put people on the earth to manage the earth and gave us everything that we needed to manage the earth. I don't mean to take y'all to church like that. I'm just saying that that already right there is my principle. All right. Now, I don't need hand-me-downs. I don't like hand-me-downs. I don't need them. I don't want them. You should not have to take away from any person to give to another. It's just, especially if they worked hard for it, that one person.
So people feel valued and contribute to the organization in a positive way. I really don't want to come off as a white savior.
But you will anyway, right? I really don't want to come off as a white savior, but I'm just going to go ahead and talk about everything that I've done and look at my picture. And this is me. And I'm so excited. I'm saving the world. No, you're not. Okay. Number one, people feel valued because they got the position. They feel important. They feel, it's always feeling, subjective. We cannot run society on subjectivity. Always. Right? Not always. At all. Really. Or else we're just going to be doing a bunch of feel-good things that don't mean anything, and we break our infrastructure, which is pretty much what we're doing now.
Somebody with privilege, as a white woman, it is easier for me to speak up in an organization because there is usually going to be less bias towards somebody who looks like me. So when I hear that DEI is sort of a liberal agenda, that goes back to the fact that DEI is not charity work. Businesses are helping them get in touch with their customers.
It's not charity work, but businesses are helping.
they're improving their employer brand, and they're able to be more creative and innovative based on their diverse population. I have a hard time accepting that anyone thinks that these are negatives. DEI is about building more inclusive processes. To me, the idea of no DEI, it just doesn't make sense.
Well,
to me.
because then you wouldn't be the hero of your story. If we get rid of it, who do you become? But I don't even remember her name, Rachel or something. I think her name is Rachel. Who do you become, Rachel, without DEI? Who are you? You're nobody, right? You're nobody, right? You need to save the world. These are the people with borderline personality disorder that we need to really call out, okay? It's narcissistic personality. I know as a white woman that I'm privileged. Let me just tell you this story too. I remember in 2020 when I made my decisions on what I was going to do politically, right? I try to hold back on saying what I did because I don't want people to think like, oh, this is just a certain kind of channel. Like, no, it's not. It's a balanced take channel, okay? I looked at things objectively and I made decisions, all right? Now, but I had a white woman tell me that I was too oppressed to make those kind of decisions, okay? And I said, wait, what? And she said, no, I know you're a strong Black woman, but you know, if you make that decision, you know, you're not going to be able to succeed. You know, you're not privileged like me. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I know that I grew up in a better environment than you. I went to better schools than you. So I'm trying to help you. And this is why I gave up my white privilege for my students. And I said, lady, you're crazy. Don't talk to me. And if you felt like in order for me to agree with you that you had to assume all these horrible things about me, you lost the plot long time ago. Okay. That's not the first time. That's not the only time that's happened to me in my life, too, by the way. I'm not going to go into oppression Olympics or proving that I'm not oppressed. I'm not going to tell you my background just so you can know that, no, I'm normal, right? Because there's no such thing. Because it doesn't matter how somebody came up like, oh, I know I have both of my parents. That was another thing that she said to me, right? I'm crazy. Even somebody had a single parent. Maybe somebody died or something, right? I've seen people become very successful and they had single parent. I've seen people become successful and they didn't have any parents. It's hard to do. I'm not advocating for no parents, but I'm just saying. So all these deceptions. So I don't go off with a no, but I'm this and I don't do that. I'm just like, bye. You're not even worth a conversation. So this is the type of person that Rachel is. Okay. She wants to save me.
Welcome.
Thank you.
When you say diversity, what do you mean?
For me personally, and I think for the industry in corporate, we are looking at it broadly. We're looking at diversity as bringing in different backgrounds, whether that is industry experience, race, gender, sexual orientation.
Well, now, wait a minute. When you're doing diversity training, you're not talking about industry experience. You're talking about racial diversity. You're talking about gender.
We're talking about all of the above. I think good diversity programs are really about broadening perspectives within an organization. And I've certainly worked for organizations where, you know, we only want people from a specific background. And that can be very limiting and impact what your organization looks like in terms of race and gender.
I highly doubt that in today's world of the civil rights movement, that there is any company that ever said, we only want white people, that wrote it down as a policy. Sorry, I don't believe it. That's just too much of an easy lawsuit. And if there was, I hope I worked there so that I can go sue them, right? Like too easy of a lawsuit, right? So what she's saying, and let me help you understand what this woman is saying. And this is why people really need to pay attention. I've worked at organizations where we only wanted a certain kind of person, a certain kind of group of people, because she doesn't think Black people are smart enough to get in on merit. So for her, it appears that only the white people are getting in because of merit. And really, the Asians, you know, they're up there, very much up there, right? So like, and I don't want to do this thing, right? But at the same time, that's her thing is like, if we don't do this, the Black people aren't going to be able to get in. That's their problem if they don't get in. I'm going to keep it all the way real. Let me tell you, in the past, parents really told their kids they had to study and everything else. It's not really a Black thing where like Blacks can't do X, Y, Z. If you want to study and pass the tests and everything, they can. There's nothing in the Black skin that makes them dumb. But the society has changed, right? And I'm keeping it all the way funky. Black folk promote a certain kind of degeneracy. It's not on purpose. You know, I don't know, mainstream that it keeps you distracted, okay? And there are a certain kind of Black folk that won't pass the test because Their parents aren't paying attention to them going to school, studying, getting straight A's, and being on their backs hard for their education. They're not. What you want me to do? Lie to you? I've worked in a prison. I've seen it. Where men are in prison and they don't know how to spell. I'm not here to lie. I'm here for an honest conversation. So if you want more Black people in the job, well, then that's a discussion. We need to find out what's going on in the schools. We need to get the criminals out of the street, right? Let's get the criminals, put the criminals in jail. So the babies who still have a chance, let's make sure that they can get to school safely, right? And then give them schools that look like they actually want to teach the kids, okay? Talk to the parents about what's going on, like what's going on at home, right? Making sure that parents can handle their children and not medicate the children. So, I mean, I could go on for days, right? But to get to the root cause of the issue is that you have to prepare people for these big positions. It's not you just give it to them. And I'm only doing the Black thing because that's what she's thinking, right? And of course, it's not all Black people. Of course not. But the notion of giving jobs to non-white people just to give it to them, it's against the Civil Rights Act, actually, right? It doesn't make sense.
Okay, well, you just said what it looks like. And that's what one of the big criticisms is that it's what it looks like, that there's diversity of bodies, that you've got a certain number of one from a certain race, another race, another race. Has nothing to do with diversity of ideology, has nothing to do with diversity of background. It has to do with quotas.
Right.
True?
No, I have never worked in an organization where we've had quotas.
I've employed as many as 1,000 people, most of them union, in the entertainment industry, and I'll damn sure tell you that there is a body count going on.
Right. And so she's lying, right? And so even with that, there's never quotas. I was in the process of opening up a certain kind of agency, and let me tell you, that was one of the criteria. Like they gave you a tally sheet. How many Black people do you have working? How many white people do you have? How many Spanish people? I was younger. I didn't get it. You know, I was like, what is this? Right? You have to meet a certain kind of criteria. Yeah. So, and that's like a federal thing. Like, yeah. Okay. So affirmative action is a real thing. I don't believe in it. And I'm probably sure that I benefited from it. And that's why I don't put my race down on anything else anymore. I don't need to do all that. I don't. Because I'd rather you just give it to me based off of merit. If I'm not good enough for the job, then I don't want the job, period. Now, I do believe in a diversity. I certainly do. Let's say I'm starting up a PR company, right? A PR agency. And I want like people to represent, I want agents that are going to represent people of all genres, whether it's celebrities or people who do gardening or represent cooking show people. So now I need a different sect of people who are like, one person's good with the celebrity stuff, another person, you know, who's like who has experience with agriculture and, you know, has networking in the agriculture field, and that's different. Right? Or if I want to do like a fishing, I want to, you know, promote a fishing person, and I need an agent for that. Like, you know, that kind of genre. Like, as far as like the natural thing, I might get, you know, an older, like to get the connections and everything going. I would look for an older white man who, right? Who it is. Right, okay, let me not even say white, right? But like an older person who's into this stuff and who has experience with fishing and tackle boxes or whatever, right? And then let the chips fall as they may, period. But this notion again of like, no, it has to look a certain way. It's communism. That's what it goes back to. And it's not American at all.